Okay, so in the last video we ended here, and we have our mocks fully ready. We're gonna have no additions to our mocks; they're good to go. But we just need now we just need a means to initialize our mocks, and we're gonna do that by creating a new class in a construct in the annotation processor. We're gonna create a new class that's gonna initialize our mocks basically, and that class is gonna be called OurMockitoAnnotations. So let's do that. This class is going to be relatively short. Well, it could get longer the more mocks you have, obviously. The more test classes you have. Oh my god, it's going to be modifiers. Cool. This class is going to have a map of initializers. I mentioned this long ago, but it's going to know how each test class needs to be initialized. And it's going to know that by looking at the test class type of each class. Class name, I mean. And obviously it's going to be static. And we're going to add a static block where all of that's being initialized. So now we're going to go through every single one of the elements for each class. Each initializer, each class, each test class will have an initializer called the name of the test class, obviously plus initializer, just to distinguish the two. Not that this is going to be exposed to the developer because it won't. But it's just, you have to distinguish them in the class path for compiler to be able to compile them. And we're going to make these all final because we don't want them to be implemented. I mean, changed. One reason that you cannot, like, even with real Mockito, I think they changed it later, but the reason if you have a final class that you can't mock it, it's for this, because they're unable to create mocks and then assign them to the base class, because the base class is final and it won't have any exceptions. I mean, it won't have any extensions. It does seem like a lot of code here, but it's going to make more sense. So we're creating the initializer class for each test class right now. And this is the initialize method. See, these test manipulations, even with Java Pod, get kind of tricky. I have to make sure I don't mess it up. So we're going to now initialize each field within the initializer. And then we're done for the test initializer. Okay, so again, I'm gonna copy paste the block of code that kind of pumps it out, writes it to the class path, and then eventually I'm gonna copy paste this to things I'm copy pasting are just string manipulations. So like, and I'm getting that from my existing code base, which is on GitHub, so you'll be able to see that. So now let's run this, see what's different, right? Let's go. So now we should have new stuff that's being outputted. Yep, we got the mock test initializer. This is perfect. Oh, okay. So test, the names don't match. Yep. So this is a test initializer for our test class. Since we only have one, we only have this one. We can't have two, and let's do that. Another mock test, and let's annotate it with the same stuff. Actually, I'm just going to copy paste all of this. We don't care if the contents are the same, you know, as long as the names are different. And yeah, let's add another class here. Just, you know, this class 3. And you know, we're not going to do anything for that one. But we're going to add that class 3, that's class 3, our mock. Cool. So now we run this. Oh yeah, I've seen this error before. Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of this. Wait, no, not that one. I'm gonna get rid of this. Alright, see? So we have initializers that will initialize all of our tests with the mocks. What we're gonna do next, we're almost done with the whole thing. We're gonna add all of this to our Mockito annotations. Then we're going to add an initMocks method. initMocks. There we go. Add modifiers to it. You want it public. You want it static. Add modifier. Add parameters. It's going to accept an object, so we can pass any class. We're going to call it test class. Add code. It's going to be this. I am going to copy paste, but it's going to make sense. It gets the class name of the class that's being passed in, and then that's going to be already in the initialization map that we created above. Where did we create that? Let's see. Here. It's going to be inside that map. That map is going to know everything that needs to be created, and then it's going to return a map. It's going to return initializer for that. And then, as you can see here, we're adding that here. And then once we're going to look into our Mockito annotation class as well, and it's going to make more sense then. Whoa. Again, more code to just. Yeah, let's run this. Yep, we're done. See? Does this make sense now? So it knows the class type, therefore the name of the class, and then for each of them has one initialized. Has an initialize, and then when you do initMocks, it just does everything you need to do. So in our classes, what we could do here is, now that we have that class of it, initMocks this. Same in this one. initMocks this. And then run it. Oh, alright, so which one is failing? Let's see. Oh yeah, obviously it's failing because get name is never called. But if you were to do get class, get name. And run the test. Now there's only one that's failing. Let's see which one's failing. Oh, because that one is also never called. But if you do that, if you call that with get name of params and you pass in 4, for and test string. Now if you run it, the test passes. Why? Because that's what it's looking for, and that's why we're passing it here. Same here, I guess. Well, we didn't do anything here, but yeah, it's the same. Um, yeah, I hope all of this makes sense. I know I'm not the best at explanation, especially like when I go line by line. Actually, I'm not sure if I like this video format where I go line by line because I feel like that's not exactly um, smart and maybe not consumable. I think next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to create what I need to create, not type online, but also just post it online on GitHub, but just go over the design, like high level design and why I do things the way I do. I feel like that's more beneficial, but let me know, I guess, which works the best for you, and we can do that. If you watched this far, thank you. I know it's not the easiest content to consume, but I actually had a lot of fun doing this. Like it's just a fun little project, and it's good to see how Mockito works under the hood. To be honest, I'm not sure if they implemented it the exact same way. There's many ways of doing this, but I feel like this is very quick. Took me 3 days to come up with this, so it's the quickest way you can achieve something that's actually quite like impactful. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and let me know if you have any other suggestions. And I already uploaded it on GitHub, so I'm going to put a link to it on GitHub if you want to take a look at that.